How's it going, Yankee fans? Welcome to the Yankees post-game show on Fireside Yankees. And today, a tough loss, unfortunately. But we've seen better days. Nestor Cortez probably had one of his worst performances of the year. He gave up 3 homers. Every pitch, I kind of was like, he was hitting a lot of fly balls out there. A couple got pretty close, but ultimately, didn't do the best job today. He's earned a mulligan though, so I think we can forgive him for this one. Still has a 2.31. ERA on the season, give up 4 earned runs, 6 hits over 4.1 innings. And, the Yankees still made it close ultimately, which is pretty damn impressive considering Tampa really dragged us on. And it was 5-2 at one point. Marwin Gonzalez, with minutes left in the game, launches a 2-run homer. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get more men on base to tie this game. And Judge just barely missed a homer by a couple of feet. Yankees fell 5-4 in this game. But Ryan, what are your impressions from this game? Any takeaways or things that you thought maybe the Yankees could have done better?
Well, I think the big thing for me was I think that we saw some McClanahan yesterday where when the Yankees started hitting the fastball, he was able to make an adjustment and go away from the fastball, and it proved to be a big reason as to why he was able to last in that game. Had he not made that adjustment, I'm pretty sure the Yankees knock him out within the first 5 innings, and instead, he made the adjustment. Nestor wasn't able to do that tonight. He kept throwing cutters inside, and when you're throwing cutters inside and they're hitting it and you're hitting fly balls, deep fly balls, you have to figure out a way to adjust, and he couldn't. Schmidt, the very first pitch he threw, and this really, I didn't really understand this. The very first pitch he threw was a sinker. And a righty sinker running in is the same movement as a lefty cutter going in. And Paredes had already hit 2 lefty cutters running in at his hands out of the ballpark. And he throws a first pitch sinker to Paredes. Paredes predictably hits that out the ballpark. The Yankees really didn't have a game plan that pitching wise that they were able to stick to early on to make a quick adjustment to what was an ambush from the Rays and getting on that cutter, getting on it quick, pulling a bunch of fly balls and trying to get some out the ballpark. Hopefully it's something they can fix tomorrow. Monty's a lot more unpredictable because of all of his different pitches. He has a sinker, 4-seam fastball. Both of those pitches tail away. Same thing with the changeup, with the curveball and cutter come back in. So, for Monty, it's important for him to mix things up tomorrow, make sure he doesn't get predictable. And the Yankee offense just has to get a little crisper. Yesterday they were to show up in a big time situation. Tonight, they had it. They really were. It's a game of inches, right? Like Stan really was maybe an inch away if he pulls it a little bit more from having a big time single that scores a run, and we'd be looking at this ball game differently. Judge just a couple of inches away from hitting a game tying home run. The offense, they just missed by this much, right? Like that's just, they weren't as crisp as they usually are. And when you miss by just this much, that can cost you a baseball game, and it did. It happens, right? Like the Yankees in most cases have not been missing by that 1 inch. They've been hitting on the screws. That's why they're 50-18. And you just hope you can go back tomorrow, take a win, and then go back home to take on Houston.
Yeah, a win tomorrow would be big for this Yankee team. Now, Stanton's been kind of on a cold streak the last couple of days. In the month of June, he's hitting 140. He's still getting on base at 31.5%, slugging down to 30.3, or I guess 395 is slugging. Really hasn't done that much. Only has 1 hit in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. So really just not doing the best. That 1 hit was a home run, and he had 2 RBIs. So he struck out 5 times in the last 2 games prior to tonight. When Stanton's not hitting, that cleanup spot just becomes a little bit quiet. And I think that Judge obviously been still killing it in the month of June. He actually hasn't hit a homer in 6 games. So that's something that we're not very used to when it comes to Aaron Judge this season. He's leading the MLB with 25 homers, I believe, maybe even 26 at this point. But when he's not hitting homers, you feel that, right? He just missed it at the end of that game today. Really unfortunate he wasn't able to push it over the wall and tie this game up. But Stanton's got to get back into his groove. He was killing it before he went on the 10-day IL with that ankle injury. So I think, maybe he's just not seeing the ball very well right now. Maybe he just got to get some more home games in his system. Whatever it's got to be, maybe just got to hit a homer and, just get on base a little bit more ultimately. Like you said, he just missed that single. He needs one of those big hits to get his confidence back up so he can see the ball a little bit better. But, he's been quiet, so there has been a little bit of a lull in the cleanup spot. But, who's actually been playing pretty well? Marwin Gonzalez, man.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Marwin to be playing as well as he has been. What does that make you feel in terms of like him supplementing, some deficiencies, I guess, coming in there, helping in left field today? He had 2 hits, including a 2-run homer, so pretty damn impressive.
Marwin Gonzalez is someone where you need, like, this is an example of kind of, set the expectations differently offensively, right? This isn't your starting left fielder, your starting right fielder, your starting center fielder. This isn't Aaron Judge, Anthony Rizzo, Stanton, any of those guys. This is your utility player. Um, and defensively, he's been great in all the positions they put him in. He has I think 5 outs above average in total. He's been playing a bunch of different positions: left field, right field, shortstop, second base, third base. He can play first base. I don't know if he has as a Yankee. Um, but offensively, he is at a 99 WRC plus, which means he's right around the league average offensive player. Now, offense is down across the league, which is why I like to use either OPS plus or WRC plus, because like a 300 on base percentage is not great, obviously, but it's less bad this year than it would be like last year, especially in 2019 when the balls were flying. Marwin's a league average hitter this year, switch hitter, and he's playing good defense. I mean, as a utility guy, what more could you want, right? Not every player on your team is going to hit, 30 home runs a season. I'm not saying that you should not want every player on your team to be great, but realistically, that's not what's going to be the case. There are going to be guys who can't fill that role, and Marwin's here primarily for his defense and has exceeded those expectations, in my opinion, by not being a garbage hitter and being serviceable at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the Rays kind of did today. 140 pitches in total. They used 7 different pitchers today. It was really just a bullpen game for them. The Yankees really needed to take advantage of that. Offense obviously hitting a little low. Joey Gallo's been kind of on edge lately. Hasn't really hit the homers you'd hope to see. Aaron Hicks has had a couple of big games in the past couple of days, but he was quiet today as well. Gleyber Torres still doing pretty well, hitting 263. And Rizzo, struck out twice today. Not really used to seeing Rizzo strike out. So those 2 strikeouts were really interesting for us to see. But, they were just hitting homers, man. Like, you got to give it to the Rays or got to give it to the opposing team sometime. Like, they're just seeing the ball well. They were just collecting hits. They were hitting homers. Paredes really just kicked ass today. He had 3 RBIs, or rather 4 RBIs, 3 homers, or 3 hits, and 2 of them were homers. So, really he came to play. Actually, he had 3 homers today. Jesus. So he had a hell of a game. Yeah, he killed us, man. Sometimes it happens. It is what it is. They came out, played better than the Yankees. Nestor Cortez had a bad game. He looked like he was really off. He was hanging his head. Looked like he was in disarray. And, it happens. Like, we'll forgive Nestor and we'll forgive and forget, move forward, and, wait until the next performance, hopefully in the Bronx, and he'll get his confidence back up with the Yankee fans. Cheering his name as always, guys. But ultimately, all we can do is hope for tomorrow, a win before we go back home against Houston. Then I think we have Tampa Bay again. So tough road trip we're on right now, but we've won the majority of the games so far. Hopefully we can clean up, win this series. We've lost 2 of the last 3 games, but nothing to be concerned about. We're still 11 games up, actually probably still 12 over Toronto. Maybe 11 over Toronto now. So Toronto's losing right now. So
yeah,
if they do lose, we're still up 12 games over them in the AL East. So not really anything to be worried about right now if you're a Yankee fan. You can lose some of these games, and we still feel pretty comfortable in our current spot in the standings. But my friends, hope you guys enjoyed this post-game show. Taking a look at what the Yankees did today and, some lackluster performances, but ultimately the Yankees are still pounding and doing a really good job getting runs in, and, just the pitching has its days. It is what it is. We'll move forward. Nasty Nestor, I'm not worried about him. Down game. He deserves it. He deserves that mulligan. We'll leave it at that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. As always, we'll catch you guys on the next one.